opening portals to another time, robots that you can fall in love with, and the first female president. All of this on today's most amazing top 10 list. Coming in at number 10, we have time travel. The Simpsons has messed around with time travel many times. I think my favorite is when Homer makes a time machine out of a toaster and ends up flying through time and resetting reality so much that he eventually has to settle for a family that has tongues like chameleons. But that small change is so much better than the rest of the horrors that he saw. Maybe 2021 is the year. Maybe next year we will see someone open up a door through time and space, and we will be able to start sending items through a wormhole. If there is this discovery, I don't think people will start flying back through time. I think it would start with small things like sending small particles back in time. I think that's about as interesting as it'll get. But I would love for the way that time travel is discovered is the same way that Homer discovered it in that episode of Treehouse of Horror, with some sort of bumbling fellow just trying stuff out in his basement, and then he's like, oh, look at that, I discovered time travel. That would be so cool. Coming in at number 9, we find out the government is run by aliens. Oh my god, David Icke would love this so much. That angry Brit loves to come on TV and tell everyone that aliens have been running the show the whole time. Not to mention Alex Jones. That guy would have a field day and people would elect him as the new leader of the free world. Well, let's stick to the motif of the Treehouse of Horror, but there is one memorable episode where Homer reveals that the two candidates who are running for president are actually aliens, and it is of course Kang and Kodo. I don't know why those two have so much of an obsession over Earth. They have the whole galaxy to explore. Well, it has been speculated for a long time that the whole government is actually run by lizard people. Now, I'm not saying that I believe in this, but I'm just saying that people have been talking about it a lot, and some people believe this so wholeheartedly they will fight over it. Well, The Simpsons predicted it, so I would say it has a better chance of being real than not being real. We're also finishing up an election, so this theory kind of lines up. And guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell, and stick around for the whole list because I'm going to be shouting out some people from my Instagram. If you want me to give you a shout out, you can hit me up through the gram. Next on the list, we have enslaved humanity. Rolling off my last point in that same episode, where we have it revealed to everyone that the two candidates are aliens, what quickly happens after that it's clear that aliens are running the world, we all become enslaved. That doesn't sound like a good turnaround for 2021. Things were supposed to get better next year, remember? Well, that seems like it would be the logical progression. We would all be turned into a bunch of mindless drones that are focused on following orders from our alien overlords. I mean, if things are going to continue worse than they were in 2020, I think it would be perfect if everything unfolded like this. And when I say perfect, I mean like in an HBO sense of perfect. Usually a lot of people die and everyone's worse off, but it's extremely entertaining. Next on the list, we have personal robots. There have been plenty of episodes of The Simpsons where we have glimpses into the future, and in most of those episodes we have people using personalized robots, usually for relationships. I mean, that's the first thing that people think about when the words personal robot come up. But how close are we to this? Is this something that could be realized next year? Well, with the pandemic happening, it has made it a lot harder to meet people, so maybe this will fast track people's interest in having an automated love companion. Next on the list, we have mind control through music. I mean, the list has been so cheerful so far, so why not keep down the road of all these happy thoughts? I don't know if you guys remember, but there's an episode of The Simpsons where Bart becomes one of the faces of the biggest pop band in America. Screaming teens are in love with them, and it seems like everything's going to finally play out for The Simpsons perfectly. That's until it's revealed that the reason that people love the music so much is because the CIA has been using it to control people's minds. Now, it has been speculated that the CIA has been up to this for a long time. I mean, we don't have to bring up the dirty details with MK Ultra, but we all know that the CIA would love to find a way to control people's minds. And we all know some stupid catchy song that got stuck in our head that we can never get rid of. On top of this, being a sound engineer is a real thing. People know how to make beats that will drive people crazy. But in that episode, the reason that the CIA wants to get into everyone's head is because they're actually trying to convince people to join the Navy. I mean, it's been so long since the NSA slip up that I feel like we're due for another government leak. After that, guys, we got TOMACCO. This has to be one of the most famous episodes of The Simpsons. Homer uses some radioactive sludge to mix tomato seeds and tobacco seeds, and it turns out to be the most addictive thing that has ever existed. Well, in a way, this Simpsons prediction has already come true. We have GMO food, but what if it goes one step further? What if in 2021 we don't have tobacco-infused vegetables, but cannabis? We already have people who are making all sorts of cannabis edibles. That is nothing new. Those practices have been going going on since before I was born. The legalization of cannabis has been spreading for quite some time now, and in some places like my sweet home of Canada, we have legal weed spread through the whole country. So with legalization comes government and corporate funded experiments. Will we see cannabis infused vegetables that are pulled right from the ground with cannabinoids in them? That would really mess up the few rabbits who come in to steal from farmers. After that, guys, we got robot doctors. This really seems like a matter of time, when you can just program the directions for a surgery into a machine and then it can cut with the precision of a samurai who's charged up on Ritalin. You don't have to worry about any mistakes after that. Well, if we do get there in 2021, guess who predicted it? In the episode Holidays of Future Past, we get to see what the world would look like in the future, and at one point Maggie is visited by a robot doctor. I mean, look at how the world is working right now. With a virus spreading all over the world, the last thing you want to do is actually go to a doctor's office. So everyone is dealing with doctors through screens or over the phone. That seems like we are so much closer to having machines take this job as well. I mean, even if it's not in the next year, the thing to pay attention to is that in the future, there is zero job security. Unless you have a job fixing robots, which actually sounds like a pretty good idea. After that, guys, we got a female president. We are obviously in the throes of an election in this moment. At the moment of me recording this video, there isn't a defined winner, but by the time this video goes up, who knows what the future will look like. But if Joe Biden wins, then we will have Kamala Harris as the VP. We all know this, but Joe Biden is an older dude. So what if in his first year in office, he has to step down because of health problems and we have Kamala Harris step in as president? This would give America the first female president. That would be wild for the whole country, and it might open the door to more people accepting AOC running for president in the next election, since she will be old enough by then. And coming at the number 2 spot, we have big companies slowing down clean energy. I mean, it's no shock that we need to stop using fossil fuels and turn to cleaner forms of energy. We know that eventually we are going to run out of fossil fuels, and in the meantime we are wreaking havoc on the environment. So hopefully in 2021 we will see a massive shift, but The Simpsons predicted something blocking us from getting there. In one episode, Lisa participates in a clean energy derby, and her derby racer is unable to finish the race because it uses solar energy, and a Duff blimp comes in and blocks out the sun. This is obviously a metaphor for how massive corporations get in the way of clean energy, and for the most part big companies don't want to switch our fuel sources because it will lose the money. And coming in at the number 1 spot, we have the VR takeover. The Simpsons has played around with virtual reality a lot. In part 1 of this series, I talked about how they had an episode that had virtual reality food, a very strange concept, but they have gone way further than that. In the episode where Mr. Burns gets a VR set to live out his wildest fantasies, which is basically being Homer Simpson, this eventually spreads to everyone in the world having a VR headset because this is better than all of their regular lives. Well, the next generation of consoles comes out this year, and a new generation of graphics cards and processors came out for PC, so this could mean that there will be a huge step forward in the world of VR. Could we see the killer app that comes out for VR next year? The one that will suck everyone into their dream life, and then people will stop showing up at work, and we'll have everyone wanting to stay home and download a world that is better than the real world that they live in? Who knows? Alright guys, that has been our list. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now I'm going to answer some questions from my Instagram inbox. IDK whatever wrote in and asked, what's your fave candy? Oh my god, this is a hard one to answer. I think I would really go for something chocolatey if I'm picking, like a Hershey's cookie and cream bar is maybe the perfect candy to me. But also I like to go for something sour every now and again, like I like Sour Patch Kids and Warheads. If we're talking about snacks, I really like Chicago Mix. That combines sweet and salty, that is king to me. Next we got Big Daddy Boy 15 who wrote in and asked, how long have you been a host at Most Amazing Top 10? I think it's been like a year and a half now. I'm closing in on 2 years maybe. I'm pretty sure I started in March of 2019, but you guys would have to go back through all of the videos to confirm that, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. And Teacher Gaming wrote in and asked, what shows have you been binging since COVID started? I don't watch a lot of TV, but I have run through a couple shows. I finished Castlevania, I ran through Dorohedoro, and I'm almost caught up on My Hero Academia, but I need a new anime to watch once I'm done, so if you guys have any recommendations, please let me know in the comments below. Alright guys, that has been our list. Thank you so much for tuning in. I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I have been your host, Jay Dorena, and watch out for what The Simpsons predicts about the future, because they're right sometimes. Bye.